I
he
actually
looks
have a
young.
challenge for you before the game starts. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you say Ponziani 6 times fast?
Ponziani, 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 Ponziani. Yeah,
There you go,
it's not
chat.
that hard.
There you go. Fine. You know what? I'm gonna up the difficulty for your next challenge, but we
Okay.
do
All right.
have the game on the board.
Okay, so e4 is played by Ludwig. E5. Okay, as expected. Ludwig taking a deep breath. Okay. Knight f3.
And yeah, chat is saying that challenge was hard for a human. No, don't worry, guys. This was part of Hikaru's
Okay.
last patch. They gave
Now
him
we're
tongue
gonna see if
twisters.
Ludwig is gonna play what I suggest, or is he?
Yes, he
Yes, come on.
did.
Okay, here
He
we go.
did.
Here we
There you
go.
go.
Here we go. Game on.
Okay,
Now we're gonna see did Box go back and watch the VOD or not. We're gonna see the psychology here. If
Well,
Box
if he
went back and
watched the
watched the VOD or
VOD,
not.
if he watched the VOD, what do you expect from him here?
He would move quickly. Okay, he did not watch the VOD because he played G6 right away. There are much more aggressive replies in the center of the board that you should play here. So, okay, this is actually quite good for Ludwig. If he should push the pawn, following the principles, push the pawn in the center, and then bring out the bishop right away to c4.
And he did it. So he is using the notes from his lesson, and soon we're going to see him develop his bishop if he followed along.
Right, and yeah, and so basically here you take with the pawn, and the key is that white gets the center very quickly here. You can push the pawns, you can attack the knight. I will say, however, that I did not actually show this g6 move to Ludwig because it's a move that is slightly inferior. It's not the best move in the position. So this is very critical already for Box. Very important here that he plays bishop to g7. If he plays any other move here, he could end up in a lot of trouble right away. So this is very critical, and we're only 4 moves into the game. So this is going to be. I think this is going to be one of the games which is very tense from the very beginning.
And Ludwig, I think he's listening to classical music, and he has a very funny comment. He said, "Can't be copy struck if the guy died 300 years ago. One of my many 5-head moves I'll be making today."
Nice. So okay, so you should take the pawn and bring the knight into the center of the board. This is why I think it's very risky what's happening at the start of this game by Box. Because if Ludwig takes the pawn and then brings the knight to attack the queen, he is already much, much better in this game.
Right. But I wonder how intuitive that is for him, because I think a move that might come more naturally to Ludwig is just to take out his knight, kind of, just adhering to those basic opening principles to try to develop your pieces quickly.
Right. That is a reasonable way of playing it. I think I did tell him though that he does, if your opponent moves the queen out early, it's violating the principles. So I do see a way that he could rationalize taking the pawn here, even if it's not the most obvious move.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm loading up his stream to see if we can get some of his thoughts here as well. It's still loading.
Sure.
I need to subscribe so that I, don't get these ads. But it'll happen. And Box. So he has 9 minutes to 8:25. Box.
Right. So Ludwig is thinking about moving the bishop. I'm actually listening in.
Got it. All right. So he moved the bishop, and this wasn't the most accurate move because he's moving the pawn on e4 unguarded.
Yeah, but this is a very weird position because after black takes the pawn, you can move the knight to e5, and it's still very unclear.
Sorry, I just meant to say that we did add Ludwig, and he is live, so we can hear his thoughts. Or actually, his 500-year-old music.
Expected?
So he said he expected this. Do you think he's going to move his knight to e5?
I think it's critical that he does.
So
if he pushes the pawn, it's a bad exchange.
Yeah, I could battery. Yeah. I actually don't feel too bad about battering here. This is actually kind of a bait. I wonder if he takes it.
He's baiting Box.
If he takes my knight on f3, he's...
All right.
Because then I take knight c6.
So
he can only respond with the game. Pawn. Then I take his pawn.
I think we're going to go back to the mute so that we can, explain what's going on in the game here.
Right. So he's trying to remember what I showed him last night. But the problem is here. Oh, Box doesn't take the knight.
Oh,
no.
I mean, he still has a good position, but he's completely winning.
Yeah, if he took the knight, he was just winning. So the bait
Oh.
kind of worked, I guess, by Ludwig. He still has to move the knight on this move, though. He has to move the knight here. He's got to move the knight so he doesn't lose the knight for free.
Yeah, and he seems surprised by this. He thought I'm worried that he's gonna leave the knight there because he thinks it's still good bait.
I don't think so because, again, one of the things I said is if you look at the ratings, Ludwig is 1100. So Ludwig's rating actually is pretty high amongst most of the players. So I don't think he's going to leave it hanging for a second time here. I expect him to move the knight,
There you
and
go.
he does.
He did 95. Great move on his end. Box has to be a little bit careful to not make any mistakes here, but he can go for just a knight trade.
Yeah, but this is actually, I think, completely okay for white because if you trade the knights and the bishops, then you're going to lose a pawn on this b7 square. So, yeah, this game is still very, very unclear, and it's the first game I think we've seen where the players have gotten into a position very early on where neither player knows what they're doing. Like they don't have a set plan or a set strategy. And I think in all the other games we've seen the players get out of the opening phase relatively quickly without any trouble. In this game, both players are kind of up and down. It's very, very imbalanced. I don't really know what's going to happen.
And let's say they trade off into a middle game or an end game, then that's where Box would be the favorite. But Ludwig is probably not thinking like that. I feel like he's confident.
Yeah, I think Ludwig generally is very confident. He believes in himself, and he's got a good position here. I think this is very, very good for him at this point. I really do like what he's done so far, even if the ordering wasn't quite right.
Yeah, fair enough. So Box is taking a think here. Maybe we could go and listen to what he's saying here. I love the animation he has on his board. Okay, we're about to pull up his stream.
Okay. He'll take now, at which point I'll take now. No, that's not good for me. That's not good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm actually really nervous. I'm really scared here. Do I have to go here? I feel like I have to. Okay, so then what happens after he does this? Am I then taking a knight?
I like the way he's thinking through this. The only problem is that he's starting
Yeah, I think
to
at that point I'm taking knight.
have quite a bit of a time sink.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Box, this is yeah, this is very tricky, and I think you might want to show. Are you showing a screen or not? Oh,
yeah, okay.
97. Oh,
we'll get. I thought we were on his screen. Oh no, we were just listening to him.
16.
Sorry, I thought we had his arrows on the board. That was my bad.
Okay, so if he does this,
but okay, let's go back to muting him. So knight g7. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, I think it's probably the best move, but it's also a very risky move because white can now bring the bishop out to pin the knight and the queen.
And Box did see that plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is also reasonable.
And just shout out to everybody, 60,000 people. This is currently the most watched show on Twitch right now, and you guys were here. Hikaru, Ludwig, Box, huge shout out. Thanks so much, everyone.
This is exciting. This is definitely the premier game of the first set of matches. And so far it's living up to the billing, even if there was this big hiccup where black could have taken the knight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think so far this is a very good opening for Ludwig. He's not doing badly. Albert actually, Box, he looks a little bit uncomfortable. Normally when I've watched him do his streams and when he's explaining his moves, he doesn't look uncomfortable. And he actually looks a little bit uncomfortable right now, just looking at the physical body language. So I think that this is anyone's game.
Right. And I mean, at some point, if Ludwig wants to take advantage, he is going to have to trade off. And it seems like that moment is now since Box is putting pressure on his knight on e5. So he probably anticipates the threat as well.
Yeah, I think probably what he should do is he should probably take the bishop with the knight and then develop his knight, play for the quick attack rather than something slow. This is one thing I tried to sort of explain to him last night when I was helping him out is play aggressively. Don't sort of sit back and let your opponent kind of outplay you or outmaneuver, out strategize you, because the difference between the players at these levels is basically the only chance you're going to have to beat them is if you can make them uncomfortable and get them to make a blunder in the opening phase of the game. And bishop f4, by the way, which was played, is also a very good move. I do like this.
So bishop f4, and Box now pushes a6. So he is. I did like knight d7. Your idea made a lot of sense to get the bishop pair off, but he develops, so that's intuitive as
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, yeah. The problem is that knight takes e5 is going to get rid of the threat on f7 and also attack the queen at the same time. So if Box sees this, he is winning. I think Hikaru had a heart attack.
No, I'm still here.
Team,
but
can you check his pulse, please?
Here. No, I'm still here. But like, yeah, okay, I get it's a joke. But why hasn't Box taken the knight right away?
Well, why don't we actually take a look at Box now, if we can just do that quickly, so we can see what he's saying.
No, he's gonna play b5.
Oh, he castled. Okay. He didn't go for it.
Okay, he castled.
He didn't go for it. Oh no. Okay, but
he's
look,
still better. He's still better.
It's a tough position. There's a lot
this is
going on, and I
interesting.
understand why he's afraid about that. So I just want to say that for Box. It is a tough position. He's still better. And
interesting. Okay.
Kind of for Ludwig also, it's hard to see all of these. There's too much traffic in the lane.
Right now,
XQC
obviously,
style.
2 defense. I have
right,
2
there's
attack.
definitely too much going
I could
on.
Battery my on this file now.
Yeah, this
I'm not
is
really
definitely
sure what his reply would be though.
complicated.
Maybe
And
cut
also
off
the
of
other
his
thing is, look at
bishop?
the time. Like, they're both very low on time, and we're only what, like on move 10 or something. Yeah, like both players have already used half their time, and we're so early on in the game that I think this is very, very messy. And I do worry for Box because he's already missed 2 opportunities to win the game.
Or if I'd
Yeah,
rather
and
move my
watching
rook out,
your
or excuse me, my
reactions
last
as
knight
they
out and
play
activate that
makes me
piece.
feel like that's God
'Cause
looking
right
down
now,
on me as I
I'm
make
not
my
activating all my
mistakes.
pieces.
Because you just have such a high level of understanding. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way I would say is, like, when I look at these games, there are certain people where, based on what I've seen out of them, I do expect them to see certain basic concepts or tactical ideas. So that's the reason that I am somewhat disappointed, because I have seen Box play some really good chess, and he is definitely capable of seeing these ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here it seems like he's very worried about that pawn on f7, and he can just eliminate the threat by getting rid of the knight on e5, because then if bishop takes, rook takes, and it's defended, the pawn is defended twice, it's attacked three times. So if you get rid of one of those attackers, he should be comfortable, and he's managed to develop and get to safety here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make the play. It's like, it feels like Ludwig makes a blunder every other move, and then the other move he plays is always very, very good. Like, queen b3 is an excellent move here by Ludwig, because you don't want to remove your knight and help activate the black bishop. So this game's just been very confusing, because Ludwig plays a blunder, and then he plays like a great move, and then he plays a blunder, and then he plays a great move. So he seems to be very, very, very up and down. But right now he's on the right tempo. He's coming off the good move. So oh no, bishop e6. Oh no.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, if Box gets the bishop, if Ludwig takes the bishop, then he's going to recapture. He's currently down a pawn, but he gets his pawn back. And on top of that, okay, I see the eval bar saying he's only up a pawn, but he has an attack on the king that I think is going to be very scary for Box.
Yeah, so basically you trade the bishops, and then you take with the queen, and then you move the knight with the fork.
Right. Oh, I mouse slipped trying to show your line. Okay, no, that's not what I meant. Here we go.
I assume this is going to happen.
Yeah, so chat, this is not what's happening. I just wanted to put Hikaru's explanation on the board.
So, okay, so he played one good move. Are we going to see 2 good moves is the real question, because we saw a good move, blunder pattern from Ludwig. So it's important that Ludwig trades the bishops here and just takes the pawn. Whether he can play the sequence of the good moves is what we're going to see here. But if he does take the pawn, I think he should see it. Or takes the bishop, he should see it.
Let's go to Ludwig, because I think he's about to explain it. Didn't mean to cut you off there. And let's listen what he has to say.
So I could bring my...
Is he going to see it? Moment of truth.
Actually... What purpose is my bishop
Uh-oh.
serving on f4?
Uh-oh.
Or is it better to bring a new piece out? I guess
don't think he's gonna see it,
defending the knight. Yeah, he's defending the knight. Yeah. I can't move him. I feel like I wanted to do c3, and I talked myself into c3, but now I'm recognizing maybe because I didn't activate my bishop, my knight soon enough, I should just.
All right, let's
D1
go
with
back
my
to
rook.
our board on that end.
I like
Because we did see his move, so we'll go back to talking here. Hikaru, he's keeping up the pattern. Hikaru?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
You're muted.
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, so now Box, this is his third opportunity to win the game. Very important that he takes advantage of it here. This is very important. Also, the other thing I would say is right now both players are getting very low on the clock now. Both players are down to 3 minutes. So this is going to probably be a complete blunderfest here if Box fails to win the game on the spot, which he can, I believe, with knight takes knight. And if white captures the knight back, you take the bishop, and the queen and the rook get overloaded. But we'll see. We'll see if this happens. I mean, both players are getting low on time. Both players are clearly very nervous, I think you can say. So this is
Knight takes d4 just played.
Okay, so this is a good move, although I do worry after queen to c3 what the next. I guess you can go knight f3, which is probably winning. But again, whether Box sees this, considering how shaky he's been so far, I think is I mean, we'll see. I think he will, but I don't know if it's guaranteed.
I mean, I think this position is very complex for the players. Less than 3 minutes on the time. All of the pieces are still on the board, except for 3 pawns here. So there is a lot to calculate, and time pressure. I think this is going to be one of the first games I have commentated on where time plays a very serious role.
Yeah, I think time will play a role here. If the game, if Box sees a tactical solution that wins on the next move, I think the game will end. Otherwise, you're right, though. The time will definitely play a very big role here in this game. Ludwig's down to 2 minutes now. So it's basically with these guys, I think every single move is super critical. It's basically when you make your move, then all the pressure goes back to the other guy and so forth with every passing move.
Well, on the bright side for Ludwig, I see him hovering over the queen, so we're not going to see a blunder there.
Right. I actually was wondering if he should maybe try to take the knight and then take the bishop. But I think considering he already missed his opportunity to capture the bishop,
right,
he will move the queen.
Yeah, because to play a move like rook takes d4, he would have to see the continuation. Otherwise, it's just a bad move.
Right, exactly. But he's getting way too low on time. He's got to move.
Yeah. So what would your advice be to players when they're, in complicated positions and they're starting to take so long on their clock?
I think they should probably start moving quicker because again, I think when you get too low on the clock, you're going to end up in a lot of trouble. And here Ludwig, he's still maybe okay, but he's just got to make a move. So I think once you get too low on the clock, as people who are relatively new to chess, you're not going to be able to see patterns. Okay, now he blunders. Now Albert has many ways to win the game here.
Right. He has discovery attack on f3 if he wants, and the reason why that is good is because it opens up the queen to take on d1. And this is a tactic that Box would definitely see if either he knew it was a tactic like on Puzzle Rush or if he has enough time.
Right. So he should see it. I think what makes this even easier to see is that the queen is not attacking the knight anymore. Like the queen's not on the third rank. So because the queen went down, you can also take the bishop here, which is quite good, followed by knight to e2 check. Okay, did he move it?
Yeah, he took that.
Okay, so now this is where if Ludwig can see the checkmate pattern and move his knight out to c3, there still are some chances, but I don't think he's going to see it, and he blunders knight c4. Now, knight e2 to finish the game.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. Box saw it. Honestly, that's a beautiful finish from Box to see this combination.
Yeah, wow. This is very, very good finish by Box here.
He has that tactical side. It was a messy game. We really quite a roller coaster, to be honest. But the last blunder was on Ludwig, and Box took advantage of it.
And Box is going to win the game now with Queen D1. Yeah, very, very, very close game. Very, very tight. I think until the end, we weren't sure what was going to happen there. And out of all the games, this is the one that I think has had probably the most drama where it wasn't clear to the deepest moment. Like the Slinger Nim game was fantastic, but already someone was ahead simplify his point. So what a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will be going on audio for Box just so we can hear his reaction. He must be pretty happy. And we actually had 3 wins by Black today. Very different than what we usually see in traditional tournaments. Okay, we're about to listen to what Box is saying.
Oh, is he listening to us?
Oh, I hope not. We're all just listening to each other here. Well, congratulations, Box if you are. That was a fantastic tactic.
I'm gonna open my chat now.
Oh, I think he's about
Annie,
to
can you
open
check
us up.
if I'm
Okay,
okay to open my chat now?
Oh, no, he's just making sure he can open his chat because he wanted to be careful.
Yeah.
I know he put in delay and he also didn't want to have his chat. So he wanted to be very careful.
Exactly. Yeah. Understood. Right. Of course.
And to explain that to chat, obviously, you know, as with any games, there's backseat gaming and people can sometimes post engine moves or higher rated players can suggest moves. So part of the rules to make sure that doesn't happen was adding delay to chat and also requiring players to close their chat. So, you know, Box, he's a good sport and nice to see that he's being very careful with that. On that note, we are about to go to a quick break. We're going to show you Ludwig's stream at the same time and we'll be back soon with the usual interviews.
In this position, yeah, I'm winning slightly. And then I do the battery and I'm losing like so much. Like so much. The correct move was knight to e5. And then I did have an opening that I saw, but I didn't do the math on. Ah! I was nervous. I was nervous. Absolutely. For some reason, this tournament, 16 people, feels like we got 12 brain-dead variety streamers who all we do is we watch memes and then accrue Prime subs. And then we got 4 whole nerds in this tournament. I don't know how they snuck in. I'll be honest, okay? They know who I'm referring to. I'm live on Chess's stream. Well, good. Well, good. They should hear this. It's unfair. E-Rob and Box in the same tournament, there is a difference between the two people. We can admit this. We can say it out loud. They want an interview. Do they interview losers? Why do they interview losers? Yeah, I blundered a bunch. Yeah, Hikaru told me not to do this, but I did it anyway. Yeah, that copyright thing. What? I have nothing. I got nothing. When I was playing my 800 elo match, I was succeeding. And it's weird that when I played a 1600 elo guy, it wasn't succeeding. Perhaps in the future, I could consider to make him make more blunders. That would be a good plan of action. If I only had him do more blunders, I think it would have gone differently. Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. Oh, coffee on the nice sweatshirt. Oh, what could go wrong? That's still on the stream? Why am I still on the stream? What? Come on. Show Box doing weird winning kawaii. Why are you showing this? Anything else? Anything at all? Anything, Chess? Anything? All you have to do is play like heads, shoulders, knees, and toes, and it'll entertain Twitch chat. Play brain power. This is a train wreck. This shouldn't be on live television. All right, new plan. I throw every single match I have. I get into the consolation hitters bracket. I beat the out of everyone there. It's a PogChamps story the whole way through. Illegal? How is it illegal? How is it illegal? What am I supposed to do? I blunder anyway. Let's be real. I'd probably lose to Swiftor. Check email for interview. All right. I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't do that. I respect tournament's integrities. As one of the former best Super Smash Bros. Melee players of all time, with wins over Chillin' Dude and other names, I know that integrity matters. Do I open? Am I supposed to do the interview? Is BoxBox not doing the interview? Are they actually interviewing the loser? All right, sure. I'm down. Sure.
And we are live. We're joined by Ludwig and BoxBox. Ludwig, do you want to ask the question you just did before we were on?
Yeah, Alex. My question's why did you f me? Why did you and Hikaru both teach me
Oh.
bad moves that were clearly designed for BoxBox to take advantage, have a better opening, and then destroy me?
So Hikaru was talking about how you actually had a better opening position. Hikaru, take it away.
Yeah, so basically in this opening, BoxBox tried to follow what he does against the bishop coming out right away by playing g6. And if after pawn takes pawn, I think guys can both see the board.
Yeah, I'm
on the
putting them
screen.
on the
After
Zoom call.
black pushed the pawn in the center to this d5 square, you could have taken with pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, and then bring your knight out to attack the queen. And when the queen moves away, let's just say back to d8 here, you can then push your pawn forward to d5. And black is just way behind. There's no development. And your bishop can come out and check the king next move on the light squares, and your king can go out of the center, and you would have been winning. So
the
it's not our
question,
fault.
Ludwig, is why did you do it to yourself?
Okay. All I remember so I just learned this opening because my old opening was the Rui Lopez, and then Hans was like, Hans told me that's dog, and then you told me that too. And so then instead, you taught me this opening yesterday, but there's so much to learn. You're supposed to battery sometimes. Sometimes you're supposed to push your pawn up. Sometimes you're not supposed to push your pawn up. Sometimes you're like, oh, you always want your pawns in the 4 file, Ludwig. These two squares right here are so important. So I was like, I'm not pushing this up. I will never push this up. But now I'm supposed to push it up, but I didn't remember that in the moment. So I went for I was like, I'll just pin him. I'll pin him. Then he can't take me. Then I can't. And then I have a battery, and the battery would have worked too.
You actually did have chances with the battery there too. But before we go deeper into it, BoxBox, what were your thoughts on the opening?
I was really scared. I was really scared the whole time.
Oh.
Don't fall for it. He's 12.
I didn't realize I was making a lot of bad moves.
You don't know.
Up until the end of the game, I was thinking, I'm playing this pretty well, but Ludwig is playing this even better. After the game, I found out we just both suck. But in the moment, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. One wrong move and I get checkmated. I lose a bunch of pieces.
I have a question, BoxBox. On move 7, so why didn't you take his knight?
Well, voice crack. Great question. I was under the impression that if I take his knight, he must have had something genius planned.
I did. I go bishop to c6, run it on the simulation. Then he takes with his pawn. I take with my queen. Uh-oh, you're pinned, soccer.
Isn't that a fork?
Yeah.
It's a double. Forks have 2 pins in them. It's a 2-prong pin.
Yeah. This is a fork. There is a way that he can defend the rook and the king, but honestly, it is a little bit hard to see. Bishop d7, he's blocking the check and he's protecting the rook. But if he didn't see that, the simulation would have worked.
Oh, yeah, but he wouldn't have done that.
Well, he did do that in the game.
He was blundering the whole time, man. He wouldn't have done that. There's no way. No way. Okay, yeah, maybe that makes sense, actually, yeah.
But you did bait him, and it did end up working. And Hikaru, is there another moment in the position where you had a question?
Right. So one position was when later when you had the queen and the bishop lined on the other line towards the king. Right here after the bishop moves. Did you see that you could take the bishop and then take the pawn after that with your queen?
I thought about this move for a while, and I thought I could take, and then for some reason I thought he could just block with rook, but I still am a pawn up. But for some reason I was like, I need more.
Wait,
so actually,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Albert.
I was gonna say, what about the pawn on d4?
So okay, first let's take a quick look at this. So if black moves the king here, there's this knight move to f7 check, forking the queen and the king, and black has to give up the rook for the knight. And so white is ahead by a little bit here.
Oh.
But
Oh.
you did have to go a little bit deep to see this line, and it is still tricky. The pawn on d4 is hanging, so I can see why Box's plan was to try to get it back, but this would have been really dangerous for sure.
And just to go back then to that position of knight takes pawn with the bishop on e6. So bishop takes bishop, knight takes pawn.
Bishop takes, yeah, sorry. Here we go. Bishop takes bishop, pawn
No,
takes
knight
pawn.
takes pawn instead. Go back one move. Yeah, knight takes d4.
Okay. After taking on the bishop, here we go.
But here there's bishop takes pawn, which is a check, so black can't capture the king.
Ludwig, I'm scared to argue with them. I feel like these guys know their stuff.
I feel like maybe you guys are a little off on this one. I think what me and Box went for, the blunder line, was a little more proactive and prophylactic picks. So that's what we were thinking. But honestly, not a bad thought.
Yeah, we're just backseat gaming here. It's a little bit rude sometimes, but we appreciate you guys being good sports.
It's like when I play against my Twitch chat, they always backseat game, but you guys actually know what you're saying. Yeah, I saw it after the fact, but I didn't see it until he had moved his knight, and then I felt, oh god, that was brutal. This was brutal.
Box, that last tactic by you was a masterpiece. Did you how far behind did you see it?
That was all right.
Like at what point did you get this idea?
It was like 3 moves in advance. And then I almost made it like 3 times while running into something. Like there was like something in the way like 3 times. I'm like right about to instantly lock in what I thought was a checkmate. I'm like, oh wait, the bishop's there. Oh wait, the queen's there. Oh wait, something else. And then on the 3rd time, there was finally nothing in the way. So I was like, okay, I can do it now.
Nice. No, that was beautiful. And Ludwig, did this catch you by surprise at all?
Honestly, Alex, no.
You knew it was going to happen. I feel like you actually lost to Box on purpose because you have been running multiple computer simulations to see how you can optimize the amount of prize money you're going to get, and maybe going for like the consolation bracket and finishing first. It's just going to be more than the other way around.
Process that you're having. This is a weird thought process. I've never thought this. Interesting. But no, I would never.
Wow, you could have backed me up one time. Never again. Never again.
You don't self-incriminate. It's the one rule. I wanted to go out like that guy in what's that? Forrest Gump. I wanted to die on the battlefield. Honorably.
Oh man.
All right. So look, I could have had him take off my limb one part at a time, but I thought let's go out honorably. I see this checkmate. What did you see at 3 ahead? I saw it 4 ahead, and I thought let's set him up for it. Let's let him tee this one in. He needs this.
Well, Hikaru, anything you want to add on that game there?
No, I just thought actually out of all the matches in the first round, it was definitely one of the most entertaining games and one of the ones that really both of you guys used a lot of time, and it still wasn't clear until just the very last move, this 92 check, winning the game. So I thought you both played a very good game, and it was just very complicated and a lot of roller coasters, but you both had your chances.
Yeah, and this was the first game for both of you in PogChamps. How was it compared to your expectations? Maybe Box, you could start.
I was really nervous. I am happy I won. Ludwig, your turn.
Talking to the mic like you've never streamed before in your life. Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous. But at the same time, I wasn't because I know that I'm the underdog. And it's so much sicker to be the underdog because you can just lose and it doesn't matter. And the more Hikaru gassed me up, the less nervous I was because I know that everybody you've gassed up has lost. So I know secretly when you say that they have like a 20-30% chance of winning, it means we're.
So all you had to find was one good move, man. One good move, and you would have won that game 90% of the time.
E4 was good. We can admit this. Admittedly smart. He's lucky it's not a bow 3. That's all I'm gonna say. Bow 1. And unfortunately, I'm so busy, Box, so I can't even play right now because unfortunately I have a thing at 2:38. But if it was a best of 3, ooh, it would have been over. Curtains.
Wow, that talk. I mean, Hikaru actually said that you kept alternating between blunders and fantastic moves. So you did have some good moves in there. You just kind of even them out with bad moves.
Yeah, and I think that's what we call balance.
Yeah, healthy, balanced life. Well, before we let you guys go, it would be awesome to hear a bit more about your channels. I mean, Box, I know you've been streaming for a long time, League and a lot of chess lately. Anything else you can share with chat?
Yeah. I signed up for this tournament for one reason and one reason only. As you know, I stream League of Legends, and Voyboy on the other side of the bracket ended my Masters promos in League. He was on the other team and he ruined me. So this is mostly like a revenge story. Like, oh, he's signing up for this tournament? Sure, I guess I can learn. He's 1600 elo. Sure, I can try to catch up. That's what this is all about.
Well, that is the true determination, the storyline that everybody has been waiting for. And Ludwig, I know you do a ton of variety. Anything you can share with the chat?
You know what? I just actually won a Super Mario 64 World Championship last weekend. One of the best in the world at that. But I decided to take it to chess. I'll be honest, I'm in it for the money. All right? I'm gunning for the 10K. That's all I'm in it for.
I love it. You guys, these answers are super refreshing. Box, Ludwig, thank you guys so much for being here, and best of luck with the tournament in the future.
Peace out, guys.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right. On that note, we are taking a look at the schedule. So Hikaru, this was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was probably the one of the two of my favorite matchups in the first round. The other one being Nim and Slicker, but just the general the responses, the wittiness in terms of what they were saying. It was just some classic answers, and that was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So I'm just gonna let you guys know what the next matches are because they're coming up tomorrow. So we are gonna have Erob versus Nate Hill, and this is gonna be super exciting because Erob was talking some trash, saying there's no way I'm gonna lose to a Fortnite player. Nate, well, Nate, from what I've seen, he's super positive, super polite. So I feel like he hasn't said anything similar in return, but maybe he's going to show it on the board. And I believe that. We're also going to have Voyboy versus Fusli. Do you got any prep for Fusli so she can have another mate in 13?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to be helping her a little bit later on stream. So once I go live in like in an hour and a half, I will be trying to prepare her and give her some opening strategies since she will be playing with the black pieces against Voyboy. Obviously, Voyboy is the big favorite, but if Fusli can pull off an upset, she will guarantee herself a spot in the champions bracket. So going to be very interesting to see.
And that would be the most incredible upset since Voyboy is the favorite here. We are also going to have Hutch versus Yasuo. And what is your take on that? Because Hutch is obviously the rating favorite, but Yasuo has been improving so quickly.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be a very close matchup as well. Both of them won their first round matchups respectively. So I think if Yasuo can get out of the opening phase and sort of spot some of these patterns and tactical solutions, he has a very good chance of causing an upset. Hutch certainly should be the favorite, but it's very dependent on what happens in the opening part of the game.
Absolutely. Well, chat, it has been a blast. This was the most watched stream on Twitch. And I would ask you to do something, but you would do the opposite. So please don't follow Chess on Twitch so that you miss all of these exciting games. Go watch something else. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hikaru, you are awesome.
Yeah, you too. It's a lot of fun.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.